Welcome to Birds of Prey Sports, where we cover Orioles and Ravens news weekly. We're your hosts, Jared and TJ. And in this video, we'll be covering the four-game series the Orioles just finished up versus the Toronto Blue Jays. The Toronto Blue Jays team that, had a lot of aspirations going into this year. There was a big year for them because, obviously the last 2 years, heartbreak in the first round. In 2022, they had made the playoffs, lost in the wild card round of the Mariners, got swept, then made the playoffs again last year, got swept by the Twins. What's funny about that is that was the Twins' like first series win since like 2003 or something like that. So they won like their first playoff game as well since like 2003 as well. So, that was kind of like, a shocker in a way, but it was like I said, it was a big year for them because, they had a lot of expectations the last few years and didn't deliver, so with the expiring contracts of Bo Bichette and Vlad Guerrero Jr. They had to do something, and they came out struggling this whole year. So they've been dealing guys left and right. Like I know they got rid of Yusei Kikuchi. That's one of them that I can think about right now. I know they got rid of a few pitchers. I think they got rid of Nate Pearson too, if I'm not mistaken. But obviously they kept like the core guys, like Vlad and Bichette. Maybe trying to run it back next year, but it was definitely a different Blue Jays team that we saw earlier this year and we've seen over
Mhm.
the past few years. I mean, if I remember correctly, like 3 years ago, I remember them beating us like 20 something to like, like five or something like that. Like that game was embarrassing because Keegan Aiken had like a no hitter going to that, like the sixth inning or seventh inning or something like that in that game. And he wound up giving up a whole bunch of runs, and so did the bullpen, and to the 10 fans that were there, because I think that was a doubleheader. Funny enough, because this is a doubleheader, but you know, I don't know. It's crazy how the tides have really turned. We're the better team now, and they're the ones kind of selling off pieces. So, um, just crazy. Oh, I guess before that, we could talk about our deadline acquisitions beforehand. Obviously we knew about the first one, the one right before the Padres series, with Austin Hayes getting dealt to the Pirates. I mean, sorry, the what is it called? What are they called? The Phillies for
Phillies,
Sir,
Phillies.
yeah, for Sir Anthony Dominguez and Christian Pache, who's not even on the team anymore. We designated for assignment and wound up giving them to, and he wound up going to the Marlins, which we actually made a trade with the Marlins as well. We gave up Kyle Stowers and Connor Norby for Trevor Rogers. I know a lot of Orioles fans weren't big fans of that. I kind of wasn't high on that either. He made his Orioles debut a few days ago. We'll go over that in the Cleveland Guardians video, but kind of backed up our claims of why we weren't thrilled about that trade. I believe we made trade for Eloy Jimenez from the White Sox. I don't remember who we gave up. But I know we made that trade. Everybody was kind of puzzled about that. Turns out to be maybe a good move, like I said, we'll get into that in the Guardian series. Who else? Zach Eflin. He makes his debut in this series actually, which we'll go over obviously, and I forgot who we gave up a few prospects for him, but not a lot. I think we only gave up like two. And fans were really like that, move. They were really kind of high on that move. They were kind of hoping it wasn't the big, starter move, but the kind of it turned into that, and we traded Seth Johnson away for Gregory Soto, who also made his debut. Well, not in this game. He made it in the Guardian series, but like I said, we'll get into that in the Guardian series. And believe he got Austin Slater and Levian Soto from the Reds. Austin Slater, he I don't know who we gave up for the to the Reds for him, but we didn't give up a lot. Like let's just freaking bugging here. Let's just make this simple. Like we didn't give up a lot of guys. Like we didn't give up Kobe Mayo. We didn't give up Jackson Holiday, Samuel Basello, like any of our top prospects, even K Povich, all these guys we didn't give up. You know, we kind of, I think the biggest prospect we gave up was probably like Connor Norby or whatever, and Stowers as well, for Trevor Rogers. But you know, I'll give the deadline like a C plus B minus. It wasn't terrible. I don't think it was like earth shattering. Like we didn't like make a move for a superstar. Like we didn't get like Tariq Skubal or whatever, or Blake Snell, or we didn't get like a big bat like Luis Robert Jr., so like that's just kind of like I think everyone kind of wanted those, moves to happen, but I mean, I guess we kind of had to be a little bit realistic about it, possibly, so I don't think these are earth shattering, like I said, like it puts us as the best team in baseball, but I'm gonna be real. We're a better team today than how we were yesterday. That's how I feel about it. We boosted up our starting rotation. Obviously Eflin and Rogers aren't the groundbreaking moves, but to upgrade from Cole Irvin or who or Albert Suarez or Cade Povich, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. So how was your reaction to the deadline?
You know, I agree. I would rate it as a C minus C plus. I think, and the reason why is because we got some guys that, haven't really been consistent with other
Hmm.
teams,
Right.
like Rogers, like Jimenez, with the White Sox.
Hmm.
They have major league experience, but they haven't really gotten it together yet.
Hmm.
And the Orioles are a team that kind of likes to take those type of players
Hmm.
and try to work with them, try to make them become stable again, to become good role players
Right.
in time for postseason. And while you were talking, I pulled up, exactly what the trade details were, for Zach Eflin. We gave up Horvath,
Hmm.
uh Jackson Baumeister, and Matthew Etzel.
Hmm.
And I see right here, Brendan Hyde was very excited about Eflin, and
Yeah.
he said he's heard unbelievable things about him, and he's postseason tested and a true professional. And that's just kind of a symbolization of what the Orioles, see in these guys that we've got. They see them as true professionals. They're not all-stars, they're not guys that are known, but they're guys that the Orioles think that can fit, what they're looking for. And
Right.
maybe us as fans can't see it yet, but the Orioles see it. And
Right.
it's in a way it's kind of a Baltimore thing. We take, guys that are kind of close to, out of their prime or close or not really just getting it together in their careers yet. And,
Right.
we try to get the best out of them. So,
Right.
like how you mentioned, at least for two of our guys out of the three, it's looking good so far, that being Eflin and Jimenez, but we'll see,
And
what's to come
Dominguez.
for Rodgers.
Yeah.
And who
And Dominguez is pretty good too. He
Oh,
closed the
oh
game in
yeah,
the 10th.
Dominguez. I forgot about Sanford Dominguez. He's
Yeah.
looking pretty good as well. But like you said, we'll
Exactly.
get into that.
Yeah. Phillies fans were kind of trolling Orioles fans because we kind of assembled the back end of the bullpen for the Phillies last year that kind of really that, prevented them from going to the World Series. So it's kind of interesting to see how that's going to play out. With Gregory Soto, Sir Anthony Dominguez, and Craig Kimbrell. But kind of interested to see
Oh,
where that's going to
Soto.
go. Yeah, Gregory Soto. Yeah, so we got two Sotos. So maybe it's a recruiting pitch to maybe when Soto's a free agent after this season, meaning
If
Juan
only they
Soto.
could. If only I was about to say, if only they could combine together and create one Soto, I would be happy. But I don't know if
We
they can
got
do
Juan.
that.
So that's like this is like that. We got Juan Soto at home meme or something like that.
Yeah.
Like so. But anyways, we'll get into this video. Get into stats for the Orioles versus Blue Jays series here. All right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So the first game of the doubleheader was Zach Eflin's Orioles debut, and it was a good one. The Orioles win 11-5. I think this was the game that was on while me and you were filming the videos. If I'm not mistaken, we were filming like the
Yes.
Orioles Padres video. So yeah, so a lot of scoring for the Orioles here. I'd love to see that. Mountcastle gets this scoring started early, 1-0 Orioles. Westberg grounds to first. Santander scores 2-0 Orioles. Arias walks in the run to make it 3-0 Orioles. McCann gets hit in the face. I don't know if you remember that. McCann got hit in the nose, wound up pretty much breaking it. Was bleeding like crazy and stayed in the game and caught the rest of the game. It's caught a few games since then. So, shout out to
Off
James
his
McCann.
nails.
Right, exactly. Shout out to James McCann for doing that. Understanding that he's the backup catcher. And we got to give Adley some days off. Adley, a guy who's been struggling. So I mean, shout out to McCann, man. McCann, man. Anyways, Arias grounds to shortstop. Westbrook scores. It's 5-0 Orioles. Ahern hits a sacrifice fly. Kaiser scores to make it 6-0 Orioles. Westbrook doubles. Henderson scores, but Mountcastle is thrown at home. But the Orioles do get a run, like I said, so it's 7-0. Barger hits a 3-run home run to make it 7-3. But then Kaiser hits a sacrifice fly to make it 8-3. Santander hits a home run to make it 10-3. Guerrero hits a home run to make it 10-4. Mountcastle homers to right to make it 11-4. And then Guerrero hits a single. Horwitz scores to make it 11-5. There's a lot of scoring in this game, so but shout out to the Orioles for scoring 11 times, finally breaking through offensively. Anyways, I can finally not only read only one player or two for our top hitters in the game. Our top hitters in the game, Kaiser goes 1 for 3 with an RBI, a walk, and 2 runs scored. Santander. Oh yeah, I think this was his first or second game leading off. If I'm not mistaken. They took Gunnar at a leadoff finally, and he really, he's Kowser's really been on fire recently. But anyways, Santander goes 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs, a home run, a walk, and 2 runs scored. Henderson goes 1 for 4 with 2 runs scored and a walk. Mountcastle torches the Blue Jays like usual. He goes 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs, a home run, a walk, and 2 runs scored. Ahern doesn't record a hit, but he walks once and has 1 RBI. Christian Pache makes his only Orioles appearance, I believe. He goes 1 for 1. Westberg goes 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run scored. We got some unfortunate news about Westberg at the end of the series, but we'll get to that when we at the end of this. Mullins goes 1 for 3 with a run scored, and McCann goes 1 for 3. He winds up getting a hit with that broken nose he has and an RBI. Yeah, and he scores one. So doubles in the day. Mullins has one. Excuse me. His 13th on the year. Westbrook has 3 doubles in the day. So he gets what 23, 24, and 25. Home runs. Mountcastle gets his 13th. Santander gets his 30th. Um, let's see here. He left 9 on base, but went 4 for 11. Oops, sorry. Went 4 for 11 in the runners scoring position. So like to see it more than just one or none, like we've been used to seeing it. So 4 for 11,
Yeah.
driving more runs in. Shout out to Mountcastle, or for having to go 2 for 2 or runners in scoring position. So, but anyways, like I said, Zach Eflin makes his Orioles debut. He goes 6 innings, gives up 10 hits, but only 3 runs, 3 unruns, no walks, which is the most important stat here. 7 strikeouts and a home run given up. He said in his presser before the game that he hates walking guys. I mean, he proved it here. He didn't walk anybody. If you're gonna give up 10 hits, you better not walk anybody, and that's exactly what he did. So shout out to Eflin. Keegan Aiken goes an inning, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, no walks, 1 strikeout, and a home run given up. And Bert Smith finishes the game. He goes 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. So just a good offensive game. Didn't really have to worry at all. The closest they got was 4 runs, I believe. When it made it 7-3. But the Orioles pulled away after that. Hitting with runners in scoring position has been a problem, but they didn't make it a problem today, and they drove in runs and proved that by scoring 11 runs. So kind of give me your reaction to game one of the series as the Orioles dominate the Blue Jays, or game one of this doubleheader, I should say.
I feel like this is a game that, we really needed, not necessarily needed to win. Of course you want to win every game, but I think this game was good for our confidence. Like how you said, going into this game, we still were kind of having a little bit of cobwebs on our bats. We still couldn't really shake, the struggle we were going through. And we did, of course, leave 9 guys on base, like how you mentioned, but going 4 for 11 is pretty solid. And then having guys like Westberg just have a great game, driving in RBIs, McCann driving in RBIs, our bats, really caught life today. So, that's very nice to see and very commendable. And obviously it's great to get a win at home. This just might be me, but I still don't like our home record. I mean, I feel like 24 losses at home is kind of a little bit too much so far. We'll see how that ends up being towards the end of the year, but I'm really glad to see our bats come to life. Santander, he's hitting his 30th home run. He's having a really sneaky good year this year. He's like, I saw a stat line today as in during the Indians game. Since like
Guardians.
Guardians, my apologies. Guardians game. Since like June, 23rd or something like that, he's been like first in every category in the AL. So he's having a really quiet, sneaky good season. And I can imagine him hitting like 45 home runs by when it's all said and done. So just a great game by our offense. I also like some things that I saw from Zach Eflin in this game. He did
Yeah,
allow 10 hits, but it's his first game. We'll cut him some slack. He's getting used to the Orioles, pitching, how we do it here. So I thought he did pretty well. And he has seven
yeah,
strikeouts too. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of his stuff moving forward.
right. Exactly. So like I said, Eflin, if you're gonna give 10 hits, you better not walk anybody, and that's exactly what he did. So yeah, I think he has like one of the lowest walk percentages in baseball. So um I love that because some of our guys, have I guess walk issues. They get to 3 counts a lot and can't put the guys away. So it's nice to have a guy that won't do that. So um yeah, so we're just gonna move on to the game two of the doubleheader here, which was rain delayed for about let's say like a few hours. Only like I think it was only like 2. But the Orioles do drop the second game of the doubleheader 8-4. Clement doubles to left to make it 1-0 Blue Jays. Kaiser hits an absolute bomb to lead off the game to make tie the game at one. Baroa, how do you say that? Baroa. Baroa. How do you say that?
Bro, I
Baroa.
think
Okay,
it's
I don't know.
bro. Yeah.
Yeah. Makes it 2-1 Blue Jays. Horwitz makes it 3-1 Blue Jays. Westberg homers to tie the game at three. Guerrero doubles to left to make it 4-3. Schneider hits a sacrifice fly to make it 5-3 Blue Jays. Springer singles to center to make it 6-3. Towser singles to right, gets the gain at 6-4. But then Guerrero hits a home run to make it 7-4, and Guerrero doubles. He's killing us in series to make it 8-4 Blue Jays. And that's the final score of the game. The Orioles dropped this game 8-4. Top hitters in the day. Kaiser goes 2 for 4 with two RBIs, a home run, and run scored. Westberg goes 2 for 3 with two RBIs, a home run, a walk, and two runs scored. And that's kind of all the top hitters there on this game. Hearn doubles to make it his 13th in the year, and Norby gets his first double of the year and his only double for the Orioles. What's it
Ah,
called? What?
just sad.
Well, Westbrook gets a home run his 18th of the year. Kaiser gets his 15th. Um, we were left five on base and went 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position. So, a lot of errors as well. We had three. It's been a problem recently. But anyways, K. Povich struggles in his return back to the majors. He goes 4 1/3, 7 hits, 6 runs, 3 earned runs, 5 walks, and a strikeout. He gets the loss. He's 1-5 on the year. Jacob Webb goes 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, no runs, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. Cole Irvin goes 3 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. So not completely abysmal like I'm used to. But then Craig Kimbrell comes in, goes an inning, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, one walk, and a strikeout. So Kimbrell not good in his, because he got demoted from closer role. So not good. The second time this happened this year. So not a good game too. K Povich really struggles. Just can't find the command. He's the opposite of not Urban. What's it called? Eflin. I mean, 5 walks, coupled with 7 hits. I mean, that's just not good at all. And
No winning.
I think it's very clear that he's not MLB ready yet. Like because there's not a lot of flashes. Like there's few things here and there, but they're not flashes. Like the one thing we saw from Grayson last year, even in his first stint, was there was flashes of potential. Of like dominating hitters or blowing it by guys or having his changeup be absolutely disgusting to hitters. And we're just not seeing that with Povich, early on. I'm not saying that he can't get there. I mean, it's his first stint. Actually, technically, this is his second stint, but he got sent right back down. But it's clear Povich isn't ready yet. Whether he's ready by the end of this year or just the beginning of next year, we're just gonna have to see. But Povich definitely isn't MLB ready just yet. Which is why we got some guys. I mean, if you told me Povich was gonna start a playoff game, I don't even know if I'd watch that game. So kind of give me a reaction to game two of this doubleheader and the game two of the series overall.
Yeah, it might be like 15-4 or something if he starts that game with the way he's been pitching right now. But you know, I feel like this game just came down to, to the bad pitching. And I don't mean to throw all the blame on Povich, but when you kind of put the team in a hole like that, and the bats were kind of in this game, run two for seven runners in scoring position. We left five guys on base. Um, you know, it's just, not 9 times out of 10, you're not getting the Orioles win.
Right.
So it wasn't like the first game where we had our offense going well and stuff like that. So um I just feel for Povich, really.
Mhm.
I do. And that's kind of my assessment.
Yeah. The offense. Mm, Sorry, the offense really got ourselves back into the game. Obviously he struggled early. There was a good chance for Povich to come in and lock in. And shut the Blue Jays down. Like I said, I mean, we tied it a few times. 3-3, and then after that, I think he should have just locked. I mean, he probably tried. I'm not saying he didn't try. But it would have been ideal for him to lock in after that and be like, all right, look, we tied it once at one, and then he came up and immediately gave up some runs, and then we tied it at three, and then immediately gave up some runs. Ideally, after you tied it the second time, our offense is clearly on fire. Lock in, which I guess he technically did because he had a scoreless third, but fourth and fifth really struggled, So, like I said, it's not he's not ready yet. I mean, it's just tell it how it is. Like, I'm not being rude or anything. We're not sitting up here saying he sucks or not something, because he doesn't. It's just he's struggling. He's young. Let's see what he does next year, maybe, because I don't think he gets caught up this year at all, and barring anything serious like an injury or something to a player, which hopefully we don't have to discuss later in the year. But anyways, we'll move on to game three of the series. This was a Corbin Burns bump day. And the Orioles win 6-2. So shout out to Corbin for being an absolute beast like usual. But anyways, the Orioles get started scoring early. Santander doubles to make it 1-0 Orioles. Arias somehow hits a home run to make it 2-0. Ahern singles to left that scores two to make it 4-0 Orioles. Kirk hits a sacrifice fly to make it 4-1. But then Arias singles to center, makes it 5-1. Santander hits another home run to make it 6-1. Varsho doubles to right to make it 6-2. And that's all the scoring there is in this game as the Orioles take the Blue Jays down 6-2. Anyways, Kowser has another. Kowser's been on fire. He's had a pretty good series. He's had a pretty good second half so far. He goes 2 for 5 in this game. Rutschman goes 1 for 4 with a walk and a run scored. Henderson goes 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored and a walk. Santander goes 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, a home run, a walk, and a run scored. It's a very Santander stat line now. It just was that's like 2 for 3, a home run, a walk, and a run scored. Like it just seems like it's very Santander. Um, but anyways, Ahern goes 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a walk. Mullins goes 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. And Rios, he's on fire. He was on fire today. He goes 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs, a home run, and 1 run scored. So shout out to Rios, with Mayo knocking on the door. But anyway, Santander gets a double at 17 on the year. He also has a home run his 31st, and Rios hits his fifth. We left 8 on base, but went 4 for 10 with runners in scoring position. So again, driving runners in, the small ball way. Not just a bunch of home runs. But anyways, kind of want to discuss that afterwards. But anyways, Burns goes 6 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. He gets the win. He's 11-4 on the year. Siena Perez goes 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, no runs, no earned runs, no walks, and no strikeouts. Yanier Cano goes 2/3 of innings, 2/3 innings pitched, no hits, no runs, no earned runs, no walks, and 1 strikeout. And Sir Anthony Dominguez goes an inning, zeros across the board with 2 strikeouts. So just another easy game, nothing too complicated, no unnecessary bullpen activity, no basketball lineups used like this, and um, the bullpen guys just doing their job, and Burns doing his job. What he got traded here to do, which is pitch, into the sixth and seventh innings and just absolutely dominate, So, like I said, a very easy game for us, and a lot of stress. So, kind of give me your reaction to Game 3 of the series.
It kind of really reminded me of game one. We just the bats were, for the most part working. We able to get a home run from Santander and Reyes again. Santander having that sneaky, quiet, good season. When I don't know. Do you see much people talking about him? This year?
Santander.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, he's getting a little bit more attention than he ever has before, just because he's hitting a whole bunch of home runs, but like not like obviously he's not like getting like Judge attention or Otani attention. Like he's just kind of more one of the under radar power hitters.
Right. I feel like he should be getting a lot more attention. I mean, I know Judge has like about 40 home runs by this point, but Santander's not too far off from those guys. So, I feel like he's definitely a guy that needs that attention. But again, we had a pretty solid hitting game. Kyles are going 2 for 5, Henderson going 1 for 3. All of our main guys are at least going one for something,
Right.
and are able to contribute, to RBIs being driven in. So, that's great. We were pretty decent when it came to runners in scoring position, 4 out of 10. We left about 8 guys. We left 8 guys on base, so hopefully that's a number we can get down in the future. But when you go 4 for 10, and you're able to get at least 6 runs in, that's pretty good. And Corbin Burns just doing what he's been doing all season. Just being our ace. Really being just our workhorse. 7 strikeouts, getting his 11th win. He has a pretty good record this year, 11-4. Hopefully the Ravens can get that record this year. Their first 15 games in. So, um, just an all around real great game, perfect marriage between pitching and hitting, like I always say. And hopefully I'll get to continue to say that in future series from now. But
Right.
just an overall great game, really.
Yeah. Right. And exactly. And the one thing I want to say about the Orioles offense is, me and you have always talked about how they're blooper or blast. I mean, really, boom or bust, not blooper blast, boom or bust. But this is just a different style of baseball. That we should start playing, and that's just driving runners in. And getting guys on base any way you can. The one thing I really like about the Orioles late recently is they're working the counts a lot. Like these starting pitchers have 60 pitches by the third inning. You love to see that. They're working the counts. Even if they strike out or they pop out or whatever, they're working the counts. And obviously, maybe it isn't great against, a team with a good bullpen, but like, I don't know. Like, I just really like the way the Orioles approach has become. Like, I think maybe the hitting coaches really came in and were like, all right, we got to like start and, have a different approach to the ball, and then honestly playing some small ball. If you're not going to be hitting home runs, get runners in different ways. So which is 4 for 10 runners to scoring position. That's good. 40%. So I think that if we continue to do it like that, then if we can get runners on base with runners in scoring position just by base hits, and obviously go back to our hitting home runs, then I'm with it. So I mean, let's get rolling. It's the most important parts of the season. So we're entering the home stretch the last 2 months. So it's the exciting time for baseball. So, but anyways, we're gonna move on to Game 4 of the series. The final time we're playing the Blue Jays at home this year. We actually play them next week, or this week, whatever you want to call it, for the last time. So of the season. So, it'd be very interesting to see what that team's like next year if they run it back with Vladdy and Bichette. But anyways, the Orioles took the last game 10-4, another blowout, another dominant win for the Orioles in their offense. They get started early. Mountcastle triples that scores two to make it 2-0 Orioles. Cowser hits a home run to make it 3-0 Orioles. Like I said, he's been on fire. Barger seems to be on fire too to make it 3-1. Ahern hits a sacrifice fly to make it 4-1. Barger hits a ground rule double to make it 4-2. Guerrero grounds out to third to make it 4-3. And look at that. Look at that. Holiday hitting a grand slam. His first MLB
Yeah,
home run, his first, hit since coming back. He makes it 8-3 Orioles. Santander singles to center to make it 9-3. Varsho scores in the air to make it 9-4. Henderson singles to make it 10-4. And that's all the scoring there is in this game. Kaiser goes 3-for-5 with an RBI, a home run, and 2 runs scored. Santander goes 2-for-5 with an RBI and a run scored. Henderson goes 2-for-4 with an RBI, a walk, and 2 runs scored. Mountcastle goes 1-for-4 with 2 RBIs, a walk, and a run scored. Mullins goes 2-for-2 with 3 walks and a run scored. Westberg, he doesn't record a hit, but he scores once, and he gets taken out of the ball game, uh, getting hit by a pitch on the hand. Which wound up being a hand fracture. So he's going to be out for a little bit. So really sucks losing Westberg. Westberg's team is starting to heat up a little bit recently, and just not a guy we can lose. And unfortunately, he got really hit on the hand pretty hard. So his replacement of the game was Ramon Arias. He goes 1-for-1 with a walk. Like I said, Holiday makes another appearance. He goes 1-for-5 with 4 RBIs, a home run, and a run scored. And McCann goes 1-for-4 with a run scored as well and a walk. Doubles in the day. McCann gets his seventh. That's fun. I don't know why. That's funny. It says Yee Rodriguez. I don't. That's just funny. Anyways, like I said, McCann doubles his seventh of the year. Mountcastle triples his second of the year. Mountcastle and Henderson gets his sixth. Kaiser hits his 16th home run, and Holiday hits his first career home run, which was a grand slam on a Utah street. So, probably a first for that. We left 11 on base, but went 4-for-12 for runners scoring position. So again, driving. If we can stay at 4 and keep going up, then I'm all for it. So, but anyways, Rodriguez goes 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts, and a home run given up. He gets the win. He's 13-4 on the year. Hopefully that's the Ravens end of the year record, like how you
yeah,
said.
yeah, yeah.
So through the whole year. But anyways, Keegan Akin goes an inning, no hits, no runs, no earned runs, no walks, and a strikeout. Craig Kimbrell goes an inning, no hits, no runs, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Bert Smith finishes the game again. He goes an inning, 1 hit, no runs, no earned runs, no walks, and a strikeout. So and finishes the game on 9 pitches. So um, shout out to them. So kind of give me a reaction to game 4 of the series as the Orioles take down the Blue Jays and win the series 3-4.
Once again, I'm very impressed by the pitching. Rodriguez, I'm surprised he didn't make the All-Star game, at least as a reserve. I mean, he's been, really good this series. Definitely improved from last year. I love what I'm seeing from him in most games that he pitches. And again, he's gotten his record to a very good record, 13-4. Hopefully he can keep that going. We did pretty good when it came to hitting too, 4 for 12. I feel like as long as we go 4 for whatever it is with runners in score position, we have a pretty good chance of winning that game. And I can't even, I'm stuttering right now, just trying to get it out. But I really like what I saw from Jackson Holiday. I really feel like he's starting to get it going now. That grand slam was very good for his confidence, I feel like. And that's the type of energy we need, moving forward. We need that young guy energy, that pop, in our bats. And I think that really ignited that. So this game was a great game, a great series for us, one that we really needed. And this is all you could ask for, in a series. Great pitching for the most part, great hitting. Our bats had cobwebs on it, so we got rid of that in this series, and we got it done.
Stuff share my screen. Absolutely. I like what you said about Holiday there, saying that he got his confidence. There was a lot of pressure on him coming up the first time. I mean, obviously being the son of a, great MLB player, number one prospect, first overall draft pick. I mean, that's a lot of expectations to live up to, and he came up and I mean, let's be real, he struggled really, really bad. I think he only had like 2 hits or something like that. He was like two for like 30 something, I think. It wasn't great, and it was very clear that, you know, you could definitely feel, not feel, but understand the pressure he was dealt with, on his shoulders. And this, even in the first, like, he got out 4 other times, he's 1 for 5 only, but even in some of the appearances, he just looked better. Like, he just looked more comfortable. He was hitting the ball harder. He almost had another home run. He could have had 2 home runs for 7 RBIs in that game, but he just missed it by a matter of inches. And you know, he just looks better now. He looked, like I said, more comfortable, more relaxed. And I'm really excited to see what he does the rest of the way. Because he could be a very, very important piece for us. Going forward. And sometimes your best acquisition at the deadline is just somebody you need to call up. So having a party over there.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. My TV was causing a distraction, but no.
Oh, yeah, some strobe lights on over there.
Oh, no, no, no. It was just, I'm sorry.
No,
I should have had it turned off.
it's birds of prey party talk here. Yeah. But anyways, going back to what I was saying, I agree with what you said about Rodriguez too. I feel like he probably should at least made it as reserve to the All-Star game. He's had a pretty good year. He hasn't been absolutely lights out, but he's just been just serviceable for us. And obviously way better than he did last year. Around this point. So um, I don't know. Ever since, I don't know, something about our prospects coming up and struggling and get sent down and come back up and just ball out. So I don't know what that's about. I mean, it happened with, well, it didn't happen with Gunner, but it happens with Cowser now. It happened with Rodriguez. Happened with Bradish. Now it's happening with Holiday. And then I don't know. Like, it just seems like the first time it's just a lot of pressure, and then they just get the weight off their back when they come back up. So I don't know, but anyways, that was just a big series win. Taking that series before the All, not for the All-Star break, before your big road trip. You go to Cleveland, Toronto, and then Tampa. Um, very, very tough teams to play in tough environments. Especially after the disappointing series loss to the Padres. It was good to get bounced back. Get back on our feet. So, um, winning that series 3-4. So, but anyways, that'll be our recap of the Orioles versus Blue Jays series. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. All of our social media links will be in the description below. Don't forget to check out our second channel, Casual Cinema. We got some movie reviews coming there soon, as me and TJ went to the movies a few weeks ago to see Twisters and Deadpool 3. And we're Birds of Prey Sports, and we're out.
Well,